Howdy, howdy. Want to take hopefully just a few minutes today. Had a pretty good chat with some customers this afternoon. Just went over some basics of the plan for the upcoming growing season and all that good stuff. And it was interesting to bring up a few things and answering their questions. Basic soil science and plant science and soil biology and all that kind of stuff. I am by no means an expert in any of those categories. I still have an unbelievable amount to learn, but just explaining, to a point in how their fertilizer works and where it works and how it works and all that good stuff, things to consider on timing, and didn't even get into the amount side of things. Just, I'm going to say, just gave them a little taste of what I'm putting together for a grower meeting that I'm going to offer for this region up here where I'm at, of input management systems, soil health, soil science, plant science, agronomics of water, all those good things. Just your basic, I don't want to sound like derogatory or bad in this, but your things that you should know in working the land and working with plants and everything. In my drive home and just reviewing things and kind of taking some mental notes on comments and questions that were asked, or comments said, questions asked, all that good stuff. And I just got to thinking that I feel bad for today's growers and producers and now granted, I'm not bashing on the fertilizer side of things, or the fertilizer industry, crop protection product industry. I was once in that side of it. Worked for cooperatives, worked for independents. I've done a cooperative, a half co-op, half independent, and a full independent. So, and by far my best experience was the full independent for loads of reasons, mainly because it was the humans, the people that they were working with were still top priority. It wasn't about making the sale, but I digress in that. So by no means, because you don't know what you don't know. And if you've been in the fertilizer and crop protection products industry for any period of time, and you've heard the sales pitches from your reps and all that kind of stuff, plus then just modern ag has told us the things that we need to be using, NPK, throw in some manganese and boron, or magnesium, boron, calcium, depending on your pH, focus on pH, and your organic matter. And, but organic matter is kind of, you're more or less stuck with it unless you're going to go the no-till and apply manure and that kind of route. I mean, I've sat through all of those kinds of conversations and am guilty myself of even having those conversations. You don't know what you don't know. I know better now. I know more now, way much more. And I'm not afraid to sit there and go, I was wrong. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that. I was wrong. I was uneducated. So if we want to say that I wasn't 100% wrong, then I take that, but I will still own that I was wrong. Now I feel like I have that knowledge. I have that education. I have the resources, things like books, articles, podcasts, whatever your resources are, to help prove and just get back to the basics of soil science and plant science. And to a point, it breaks my heart that so many growers and producers don't have that and don't have access to that. And it also bothers me that we have opportunities for our input suppliers to provide better data, to provide alternative, ways of doing things. And I get why they don't. I mean, I'm not going to go out and promote, obviously if I'm in the business of selling fertilizer. I'm not going to go out there and say you don't need any fertilizer, or you don't need any X chemical, chemistry, whatever, if you're, you're a salesperson for that. But that's the part that bothers me, is the lack of integrity within a good portion of this industry. I know there are some really fantastic people who genuinely want to do better for their growers and their customers, but I do feel like in this day and age of, now we're headed into the second month of 2025. So anything past 2010 or 2005, 2010, we'll just pick a date, something. So for the last coming 15 full years where we've had cell phones and, the internet has been around since the mid 90s, and all of the data and the resources and social media that's out there, the fact that some growers still aren't getting that information is disappointing, and it's a bummer. Now, obviously, they could go search for it, but if you don't know about something, you don't know where to look for it, or don't know where to begin. I was in that boat. I wanted to learn more about soil science. I've always been interested in soil science, so I started looking for places, but it was tough to find something that fell into what I felt like would finally explain the things that we're seeing in this part of the world. So, it's as a whole, the whole industry, it starts from the bottom and goes up, and it starts at the top and goes down. We need to do better. We've got to do better on educating our growers, in all of the ways that that something can be done. It can't be just sticking with the way that it's always been done, because that's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's not sustainable economically, environmentally, on all cases. Part of this conversation was the grower, is thinking of cutting his dry fertilizer rate back by 25%, because he's like, I don't want to steal from my soil of what I've built up, but economics are just not working. Do you think I'll be okay? Yes, I am very confident that you will be okay. And offered up, let's try these other things. Let's do XYZ instead of your ABC, and help give you that peace of mind. Also, come to my grower meeting and I will explain why I know you will be okay. So, to wrap up, anybody that's watching this, and if you're going in a different direction from your neighbors around you, or your competitors, if you're a small ag business like I am, and in the ag industry, and you've got competitors, if you're going a different direction, don't lose hope, don't lose faith. It will come. Just keep going and keep sticking with what you've been doing. If you've got that gut feeling that you're on the right path, go with it. You are most likely on the right path. If you're watching this and there's been a question in the back of your mind within your operation of doing something different, trying something different, but you've been nervous too, you don't know where to begin, don't know where to start, by all means, holler. I would love, love, love to help you with that, and give you resources and give you tools and help you build that, and help build you to be able to build that. And then that's how we make change within this world, within this ag industry. Because gosh, we need it more than ever for so many reasons. The biggest thing is that leadership, and don't be afraid to step out and do something a little bit different. You're not alone, I promise you. So thank you for listening, and if you do chime in, appreciate your chime in. As I said, if you need some help or guidance or assistance, or just want to bounce off some ideas, don't be afraid to reach out. Take care.